Hello guys, and welcome back to another video here. You'll notice that this is not my normal video. This is a video that I decided not to do any editing of at all, except for just using Kazam's pause recording feature. And the reason for that is because, first of all, I'm lazy, and I don't really feel like editing this video because I want you guys to see my first impressions here. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the daily builds of the next version of Ubuntu, which is 20.04 LTS Focal Fossa. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, I guess. So I've not downloaded anything yet, but I'll probably try to remember to leave this link in the description. This is provided by Ubuntu themselves, and you've got a link to the daily build. For those of you guys that don't really watch, aren't really into Linux and don't know a lot about Linux, this is one thing that Ubuntu does. Ubuntu is probably the most popular version of Linux out there. People who don't even know what Linux is know what Ubuntu is. And by the way, sorry for the background noise. The washer is running and I'm close to the washing room. But anyways, so Ubuntu, whenever they're working on some, they always like to put out daily builds, so you don't even have to wait until beta comes out. I'm just gonna Ubuntu 20.04, no one cares, release schedule. This will show when it's going to be in, when we're gonna get a beta and everything. So right now we are in the feature freeze, so all the features that have been planned to be, wait, no, that's later this week. It's the 26th. Tomorrow is the feature freeze. So any other feature that they want to add after tomorrow, it'll have to be saved for the next version, which would be 20.10. Then March the 19th, we have the user interface freeze, so no more tweaks to the user interface after March the 19th. And then the beta will be released the 2nd of April. The kernel freeze will, so we won't be including, we won't change our mind on which kernel we are going to use, and we are going to stick to the kernel that we're using from here on out. That will be on April the 9th, and then the release candidate should be opened by the 16th of April, and they're, by now, they're just really, really minor things, pretty much just cleaning up bugs and stuff. And then it'll finally be released the 23rd. So that is a couple months from this past Sunday. As of this recording, I am planning on uploading this later because I already did the announcement video just a few days ago that I'm gonna be taking a break until mid-March. So I'm gonna have this scheduled to be released probably the 14th or the 21st of March, one of those two. So yeah, that is when Canonical, which is the company that develops and distributes Ubuntu, that is their projection of how the development process is going to go. So once again, I actually haven't downloaded the ISO image yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click that link there, and I'll change the name here so that I give an exact date for this. It is the 26th of February as of the time of this recording, so 02 2020, something like that. Actually, I can just keep it like that. Alright, enough with the naming there. Alright, and I just installed a new wireless card in here, so this should take it should be faster than it was before, but I am still going to, it's, as you can see here, it's saying that it's gonna take around a half hour-ish to download. So I'm going to pause the recording here, and I'm going to do a few things while I'm waiting for this to download, and then I'll come back to you once everything is downloaded. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to say really quick, before I got ahead of myself, about the whole scheduling thing. I didn't plan to do this, I just kind of thought of it on the spot. Also partially because Alan Pope is one of the workers at Canonical, and he released a video called, pretty much my workflow as of 2020, something like along those lines. He said he was running the daily build, of this. And then Joe Collins, which is another Linux YouTuber that I follow, released a video like that as well. And in there he mentioned that he was going to try to get a daily build installed in VirtualBox. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't really looked into this that much, so yeah, I think I might do that. In fact, I might do it on camera, and I just kind of thought of it on the spot just this afternoon. But anyways, yeah, let's pause the video here, and I'll actually come back to you. Hopefully I'll come back to you once the 2.6 gigabytes is done downloading. Not universal access. Alright, and it is done. If you notice that there's been some changes to the desktop, add some new extensions. But yeah, so it is all downloaded. So let's go ahead and go into VirtualBox here, and we'll just create a new virtual machine. Call it Ubuntu. Even Focal daily build, something like that. Alright, and yes, Ubuntu 64-bit. Just gonna unplug some. And then we're just gonna give this around 4 gigs of RAM. This machine. Yeah.
Did you take a shower last night?
So yeah, we'll give 4 gigs of RAM. There's 10 gigs, on my host here. So yeah, 4 gigs is probably enough for Ubuntu, and then we will go ahead and create a new virtual hard drive here. And dynamically allocated. I always have my virtual machines on dynamically allocated. I just don't like taking the time to, what is this glitch going on here? Alright, that was weird. I just don't like waiting for like a 20 gig hard drive to generate there. So let's go into settings here, and just go ahead and enable bidirectional clipboard, but no, I don't really use drag and drop. I like to use shared folders instead of drag and drop here. We're not going to use a floppy image to boot off of. I'm not even going to put a floppy drive in this VM here. So yeah, 3D acceleration. I've also got a command in here if we open up a new terminal, to bump that up to 256 gigs there. We try doing that. It's odd because sometimes it gives you the ability to do 256 gigs instead of just keeping it at 128, and some operating systems do require more than 128 megs here. I'm just gonna keep on going here. If we cd into my bin directory here, I have VBox man here. If we print that out to the screen, remember you guys do not have to use a terminal to do things, but I kind of learned how to use a terminal, and if you're gonna do Linux, you really should take the time to learn the terminal. You don't have to, but it will be pretty beneficial for you. And then this is command. You replace this $1 with the name of the VM here. And I'm just gonna take out this IDE controller altogether. I don't know why VirtualBox does this. Puts like in Linux distributions, it automatically chooses to put the optical drive as an IDE device, and I have no idea why. But yeah, everything looks good. USB2 is fine. And then of course I'll give it my usual one on the desktop here, new shared folder. That was actually copied over from my nice Windows. If you guys haven't checked out my Death of Sun series, that documents me moving off of a dual boot configuration with Ubuntu 16.04 and Windows 7 onto what I have here, which is Ubuntu 18.04. And then later this year, when 20.04 comes out, and I feel like it is ready for me to upgrade my main system to, I'm gonna do that, but I don't think I'll document that, because like really, that would be only some of my subscribers would watch. And even though probably only my subscribers watched my death, I mean, like it happened pretty much because my incentive of that was because Windows 7 was losing support, and I in my opinion, anything after Windows 7 I don't want to use really. Windows 7 for me was the last good version of Windows. Windows 8 obviously had issues that you guys know of, and if I upgrade to Windows 8, there's no free upgrade path to that, which means I'd have to buy it, which is about $100, and then I have to, like, I'd only get support for an additional 3 years. If I'm gonna get support, I wanna do it for, in 18.04's case, that'd be for an additional 3 years as well, but of course 20.04 LTS is coming out, which is what we're doing here. You can see that the splash screen has been changed, so now it says Ubuntu 20.04. Let's pop into full screen here, and it looks like, yes, the VirtualBox will allow us to do full screen here. It's a little weird about that. It doesn't always do it doesn't always, well, you can go full screen, but the mouse and keyboard don't work. It's kind of weird. It's also kind of random, but it seems to be allowing us to do it this time here. Now, some VirtualBox guest editions are built into the Linux kernel, which is why this screen should adapt to the resolution that the window is automatically. And that's something cool that the Linux Foundation, for those of you that don't know what Linux is, I might make a video about it sometime. Pretty much just let me know if you want me to make a video about it, and I'll make a video about it, because the concept is good for its own video. But pretty much Linux, oh, you can see here that the desktop wallpaper is still at the 1910 desktop wallpaper. They probably won't change it they got a new welcome sound, if you heard there. But anyways, they don't really change the default desktop until like well into the beta stage. And they have like a whole contest where you can like vote for what the next default Ubuntu, or at least what the included wallpapers will be, if not what the default one will be. You can see here that a thing that is the Yaru theme, which is a theme that Ubuntu uses, has been like a more purplish style there. You can see like these indicator icons. They're usually orange, and other versions they're purple right now. So I'm just gonna hit install Ubuntu here. I'll leave my first impressions of the desktop and everything to later when we actually have everything installed. Note that a lot of things at this stage haven't necessarily changed that much. We are still early in, this is like the second month of the development. The development started in January, or maybe December. I don't know, I think it was like a week or two after the release of 1910. So yeah, either November or December. Anyway, so yes, English to US for my keyboard layout is good. Just wait for it to load. The Ubiquity installer, which is this application that Ubuntu uses to install, and a lot of the Ubuntu derivatives used to install this. It isn't the fastest installer here, but it is a pretty nice installer. So I'm going to do normal installation, and I'm going to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. So hit continue, and I believe this is where it takes forever because it wants to scan your drives for any additional installation. So like if you have another operating system, it'll tell you, it'll give you the ability to set up a dual boot situation, like what I did with 1604 and Windows 7 before I upgrade to 1804 here. That's what I did. Ooh, that's different. Alright, so if you guys saw my Death of 7 series, it's the first, it's both the first and the second episodes, because I installed 1910, and then something happened, and I had to install 1804, like what I have here. Like, you'll see what the screen usually looks like. There's a lot of different options here. I guess if I had an operating system installed, there would be an additional option here that says like install Ubuntu alongside Windows 7 or Ubuntu 16.04, some along those lines. But yeah, so we only have erase disk and install Ubuntu here, or we have something else. And then we have advanced features here. So let's see. There's logical volume manager, and then you can also use ZFS as the file system, which is a different operating system. I'm gonna get a little technical here, but the file system that is usually shipped with Ubuntu here, and multiple pretty much every Linux distro out there except for a handful like OpenSUSE, they format all of your partitions as the extension 4 or ext4 file system. That is like the most popular file system in like the Linux world. There are other file systems out there like XFS and ButterFS, BTRFS, and of course there's the older versions of the extended file system, but they, of course, we just use ext4. there's a lot of different file systems out there, but some that isn't a Linux thing, file system is ZFS. That's more of a Unix type thing, you know, your free BSDs of the world. Pretty much BSDs and Solaris, those Unix systems, a lot of them use ZFS, and it's a pretty advanced file system. It's pretty cool, and the people over at Canonical are trying to get that into Ubuntu, make that an option that you have for Ubuntu here. But they just started doing in 1910 and still in a pretty experimental phase. And for a production machine, it's best just to use the XT4 because it's very experimental here. So I'm gonna hit none here. But it's interesting how they have this advanced features there. And don't try to confuse a new user. They're like, what is an LVM? Or what is ZFS? They just kind of hide that away. I think that's good, but still there is just one click away. And then of course you can partition the operating system yourself. I'm just gonna let the installer do that here. So I'm just gonna install now, and let's continue. I'm kind of looking at possibly doing more videos like this that are unedited. Yes, they are going to be long. This one's probably going to be like an hour or an hour and a half. But it gives me an opportunity to ramble on about things that, it gives you guys the ability to hear everything that I ramble on about. You guys might even learn some of the things I ramble on about, but that I cut down when I edit it. But also, if you guys really don't like this, and if I don't get that much response from this video, then I might start doing more. I might do this a few times, but I might stick with the edited stuff, because, yeah. My keyboard doesn't work. My keyboard doesn't want to work. Alright, that's a problem. I guess I haven't really needed to use the keyboard yet. But yeah, as you can see there, it kind of resizes for you. So... Oh, okay, it's... I'll just put in my name. Focal Fossa 20.04, something like that. I'm sure JR's fine. And then I'll have my password. Alright, and sure, we'll require my password to log in, why not? Alright, and continue. And now we'll start installing. Anyways, I never really finished my discussion about what Linux, the basics of Linux. So, while that's installing, I think I'll do that here. So, Linux is just a kernel, alright? If we hop into a terminal here, let's... Why is GIMP open? And clear the screen for us here and bring up the nice screen fetch there. You can see here if we type in uname, that'll give uname -a, that'll give a lot of information about the kernel that's running on here and more information about the system here. So you can see we're running on 1804 here, kernel 4.15.0-6-generic. That is the Ubuntu kernel. So, but pretty much the Linux Foundation and Linus Torvalds, which is the main developer which is the original developer of Linux. He kind of invented Linux, if you will. He was the original creator of the very first kernel back in 1991, and pretty much he wanted pretty much Linux is that kernel, and that's pretty much what Linux is. If you when I talk about Linux, if I'm talking about the kernel, I'll say some like the Linux kernel instead of just Linux. And it can be a little confusing. Some people say because Linux is technically only the kernel, but a lot of people call like Ubuntu, they call it Linux, or they'll say Ubuntu Linux, or they'll just call every single Linux distribution out there Linux. And of course, I'm gonna get more into this in a possible other video. If you want to see more Linux content, then make sure you vote in the poll up on the upper right hand corner of your screen there, because I've only had one person vote on it so far. And I've had it in multiple videos, but anyways, let's get back on topic. Pretty much you guys some of you guys don't really understand what a kernel is either. So pretty much the kernel is a thing that allows applications like VirtualBox here, or Google Chrome up here, or your file browser, to pretty much communicate with your hardware. So stuff like your RAM, your processor, all that. Not necessarily, I don't keep on wanting to say your hard drive, but that's not really right, because the file system more is the thing that manages your hard drive. But stuff like your graphics card, things like that. That is what the kernel does. And pretty much what the Linux Foundation does, or the people that make the Linux kernel, they go ahead and they have their kernel open source so everyone can see the code. You can come on here and go to GitHub here, and you can search for like the Linux kernel, see all the code behind that here. I'm gonna see if I can actually find it. Here it is. Oh no, this is a guide to doing Linux. I just want the kernel. Anyways, you can if you look hard enough, Linux kernel on GitHub, you can find the code for okay, here's the kernel itself, like kheaders.c. This is a file. This code runs on your system here. Whenever you have the Linux kernel running, all of this here, kernel header artifacts used to build the kernel. But yeah, so it's open source. So what people like Canonical and the Ubuntu project do is they take that code, and of course they kind of make their own kernel here. Hardly any Linux distribution uses the mainline Linux kernel. They kind of do modifications on it. I believe it might have been, I think it was Ubuntu 14.04. They did a non-long-term support version of the kernel. So like one that doesn't get lasting security updates, and Canonical actually maintained that kernel, and then they put that in their operating system here, and they pair it with things like Bash. They have an init system which is used with the kernel to help boot up your computer. Of course, the bootloader, the desktop, as you can see here, like the GNOME desktop, which is used in Ubuntu these days and stuff, and they make an operating system out of it. Of course, I'll get more into all of this in that other video. But anyways, so yeah, that's Linux kernel for you guys. I should have. I'm sorry if I confuse you. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So I'll just once we get into the installation of Ubuntu, I think I will see which version of the kernel we're running. I'm thinking it might be 5.4 at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and wait until this is all done, and I'll get back to you. Alright, that was pretty quick. I'd say that was around 10 minutes-ish. I don't know, I kinda lost track of time. You guys can probably tell because of the pausing of the video. But anyways, so I'm just gonna hit restart now to restart into our newly installed Ubuntu 20.04. I was just installing some software down here. Yeah, so I just wanted to check on that really quick here. There we go. So yeah, so now we should be, we're rebooting, of course. They're shutting down off of the live CD here. One thing that the Ubuntu always does is when you're shutting it down from a live CD, it says it like pauses to tell you to remove the installation medium, then you press enter. And it's nice to make sure that you're not accidentally booting off of that installation medium again. Another thing that I like about the Ubuntu installer and most Linux installers is that they don't really reboot at all. They don't really make you reboot. When in Windows you reboot like 2 or 3 times in the installation. Ubuntu it's all one. Of course, you shouldn't use that as, well, I'm gonna choose Linux because you don't have to reboot when you install them. Well, you know, it's just like that's just a little brick. Anyways. So we are now booting into 2004 here. Let's see if we have VirtualBox will play nicely if we go into full screen here. So as you can see there, we're loading here. And we're loading Ubuntu 20.04. It's loading. I wonder how long it's gonna take to boot. You haven't really been getting a flashless boot. Something that they were talking about was that we aren't gonna, and certain drivers, like, we're not going to see like random flashes of System D, which is a tool that a lot of Linux distributions, that's the init system, and that's like kind of something that helps boot up the system. Anyways, and we should be arriving at the GNOME Display Manager, the GNOME Login Manager here. We've got the mouse. You can tell where the cutoff is because we're transitioning between the old and the new Ubuntu mouse there. Alright, adapted to the full screen virtual machine display here. of GNOME plus Remina kiosk. That's interesting. That's something new. I'm not exactly sure what that is. And then, of course, you got Ubuntu with the X Windows system, and you've got Ubuntu, and you still have Wayland in there. It's just not enabled by default. So no, that's the wrong password. And it looks like that. VirtualBox just doesn't want to play nicely with Ubuntu right now. Type in my super secret password that totally isn't just the word password. And we'll log into the desktop here. Something that I wish Ubuntu still had is the start sound. I still haven't gotten, because something that I did with 16.04 is every time I log in, I'd have a startup script that would run and would play a startup sound, which is supposed to still be in the system. I'm just gonna check here. I believe it's in user/share maybe. Let's pipe that into less here. So yes, there is a sounds directory in there. So if we cd into that, and then cd into Ubuntu, I believe. Stereo. Wait a minute, what happened? If we're in a login loop, that is bad. Then I don't know what to say. This video might not be uploaded if that's the case, and I might have just wasted a bunch of time. Stereo. And let's go ahead and MPV system ready dog. No, that just sound's been in there for a long time, I tell ya. Since the early days of Ubuntu. Desktop login. Oh yes, that's it. That is it. I would pretty much have a script that would run that very command there. It would run mpv space /usr. We're in a log. That's a problem. Alright, let's go ahead and go into TTY here. Wait for that to load here. And then JR and go ahead and log in. Yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem with, alright, so you can see there that we are using, okay, if we disable mouse integration here, you can see that we are using the 5.4 kernel there, which is what we kind of expected. They kind of let loose that that's what they were going to do. We should have X installed. Yeah, otherwise that fucking no one. Let's you know what? I'm gonna try using Wayland. I'm gonna try using logging in with Wayland here. For those of you that don't know, X is pretty much essential. Like, it tells your graphics chip how to draw everything onto the screen. That's what X is. However, X is very old. X has been around since like the 80s, since even it predates Linux. It was in Unix things. It was back around in the 80s, and pretty much it just all that's happening with X is it's the developers are trying to keep up with the new things that are coming here. The new technologies and graph. Oh, look at that! That worked. We logged in with Wayland, and here we go. But yeah, right now they're just trying to keep up with the new technologies and stuff. And right now they're just maintaining it, make sure it's secure and it's able to work. So yeah, X is old, but a new project called Wayland is the replacement for X. The problem is they're not completely ready yet, and there are still a lot of applications that that don't have support yet, and especially like I wouldn't be able to do screen recording in Wayland. And trying to work on that, but they have it right now so that just to keep things secure, that nothing can record the desktop. Yeah, so here we go. Here's your traditional welcome screen here. Log into online accounts, setting up live patch. And of course, there's the controversial help to improve Ubuntu screen. I'm not going to send things just because this is VirtualBox. Pretty generic hardware here, but like you can view like what it's going to show, what all it's going to send up to canonical here. You can see it's just VirtualBox, and this is the BIOS. Inotech GmbH apparently is the BIOS vendor there. Sends information about the. You don't say. Tracker. Oh, tracker. Oh, well. Whatever. Oh, I guess I should probably have sent that. Because they are working, let's send that bug report there, to the people working on Ubuntu here. Here, Ubuntu on Wayland here. I might actually send that just to tell them, hey, I'm on Wayland here, and if Popey's here watching, yeah, we've got a problem with the login with X, at least as of the recording of this video, February the 26th of 2020. So fix that, at least on my hardware, that's being an issue here. I just want to make sure I sent that, yes. And no location services, please. And here we go. So we are all ready to go. Here is Ubuntu. Now I won't be able to do something. Now I won't be able to. Most of these bundled applications should work just fine in Wayland. Just note that Wayland isn't really ready yet, and that's why it's not chosen to be the default yet. So yeah, here we go. Here's Ubuntu here. Let's see, will full screen work? Alright, so mouse integration. Wait for things to happen here. Can we control T to open up a terminal? We can! That means that the keyboard works. Nope, that was... that was someone on the host side. So no, we don't have keyboard. We don't have keyboard control right now. It just doesn't want to work. Alright, so I'm gonna start by updating the system. Let's actually see if my bash scripts collection will work here. So we'll go ahead and open up a terminal here. It's taking a long time to. There you go. And let's sudo. Let's cd into downloads and wget http 192.1. It's on my server. Non-HTML Sweet. Oh yes, we got the Xorg problem. It finally recognizes that there's an Xorg problem. Yes, send that. They need that information. Alright. HTML Suite and archives bash scripts. This problem cannot be reported. Okay, why didn't that come? Wait, what? Sweet packages. Alright, so this video will be uploaded. Sudo apt install lib gmp10 lib kmod 2 can this one can be moved around? Great, that makes things easier. Lib. Okay, so yes, we do. Since Ubuntu 20.04 was released, hasn't been any. Alright, so it looks like we have to perform a system update here. So sudo apt update. Maybe. Has happened more than once. I don't know if I can reproduce it. I might be able to reproduce it. I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't want to. I mean, I'm just not gonna mark it because I don't know for sure. I don't know if it's suddenly. I don't know if after I install these updates it'll fix itself for some reason. So I'm just gonna send that sudo apt upgrade and then say yes to every single thing here. Alright, okay. I'm trying to hit okay. Your display manager log files may help developers diagnose the bug. But yes, go ahead, this is just VirtualBox. I'm glad I'm helping the developers here. Be real. To do additional debugging work. Oh, I don't know. It's interesting that I'm getting this on camera, actually. Oh. Yes, if it's not too technical, sure, I'll... You want to get bisection searches. Maybe. I'm... My schedule's kind of full at the minute, actually. I don't know. I want to help. I don't know, guys. I have no... Wow, and this is an unedited video. You guys are hearing everything. Would I be willing to invest the time in hoping that... I don't know. I want to help, but I've also, you know, I'm just a freshman in high school. I mean... I'm sorry, Appleport. I want to make Ubuntu better. But, I don't know. Man, someone could, like, in the comments count every time I've sent I don't know in this video. Man, I'd like to know the number. I don't know. I'll just say no, question mark. Thanks for testing Focal. I don't know what... I don't even know what regression is, to be honest with you. Because I don't know... I technically know a workaround is just to use... It's just to use Wayland. Now I don't know what this is applying to. I don't know what this applies to. That port. I'm sorry, I don't know what this applies. I'm updating them right now. Just hold on a sec. Just hold on a second. Wait for the system to update. Alright, so it's... I'm waiting for it to update the init RAM FS. And I think I'm gonna pause the video until the update is done. Now come back, guys. I've just been thinking about things. Like the past few seconds I've been silent. Alright, we're back at the prompt here. Could I try to rerun app port? You know, I'm just gonna log out and I'll try to reproduce the bug in Xorg tracker and crashed. Don't use the gnome. Send. I just did a system update. Alright, I'm gonna restart it. I'm gonna restart the computer and I'll try to log in with X again and hopefully that'll... Oh, we've got a new loading screen there. That's interesting. I wonder how long this video has gone on for, really. Like, the bad thing with Kazam is I can't see how long the video has been going on for. And I've spent at least a minute either saying I don't know or in complete silence. So, I wonder if having an uncut video, you know? Okay, so we're booting up again, and I guess we'll pause the video because if I, you know, speaking from yesterday, thinking from last time I logged in, it took forever. So yeah, I'll just pause the video here. Alright, so here I am here, and I am going to go ahead and log in with X here. Alright, let's see if this problem happens after an update. And if it persists, then most importantly, hopefully after an update, it'll look at that. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We don't know if this is GDM or if it's the desktop. Huh. It's indented right now. It's like, will it boot or, well, will it log me into the desktop using X? Or will it boot me back to the GNOME Display Manager? Alright, we lost the cursor, and we've got a blinking cursor in the top left. That's interesting. Alright. And it's not going away. Alright, I'll pause the video and wait for a bit, and if it goes away, I'll start it, I guess. And if it doesn't go away for a while, then I'll start and say, yeah, X isn't working again. Yeah. Alright, it kicked us back to the login here, so I'm just gonna go back into Wayland here. Alright, and we should be getting the GNOME desktop. Yeah, I guess we're just having a problem with X here. I don't know what the problem is. And it could just be that I don't have guest editions installed, and that's making it, which makes it hard to decide, like, whether, well, there's guest editions in the kernel, which should be, for the most part, enough. Of course, you're not going to get shared folders working just from the guest editions in the kernel, but a lot of the things from guest editions, like the display driver, is in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if we get any app port errors here. Which we should. I mean, the detection should kick in. It did take a minute, and like when we logged in last. Here, let's see here if we go ahead and open up a terminal and do sudo apt update. If there are any updates available. Because it does tell you at the end how many packages are upgradable here. Just some repositories have changed, and it's interesting. If it says get, then that means that like there's a difference. At least I believe that means that there is a difference between what it like has in its cache of what is in that repository and what it says that there is there, which usually means that not a packet. Oh, app port. If we got a tracker issue again, and we have another tracker issue here. I'm just gonna make sure that we are up. One package can be upgraded, so apt list upgradable. I completely messed up that. Gradable. It doesn't look right. Upgradable? No, it's upgradable. Snapd, so that shouldn't really cause any issue here. It was looking for a bunch of libraries and stuff, so I'll go ahead and send that data off to Canonical, and hopefully it makes it there and that there isn't an issue on the way here. But yeah, hopefully that means that we can do what we usually do here and look at Ubuntu 20.04. Like I said before, if you do uname-r here, we are using the 5.4 kernel. Something that I wish that Ubuntu installed by default is GNOME tweak tool. If you watched my Death of 7 series, you would have seen that. If we do sudo apt install GNOME tweaks here, that, or the GNOME tweak tool was actually what's, but it also uses it. That's odd. It looks like that data did get to Canonical because I have not gotten anything that says otherwise. And so I'm just gonna wait for this to go ahead and install, just to see anything else here. If we go into settings here, let's see here. What I really want to get at is, whoa. Oh, it had to reset some things there while I was installing the tweak tool there. Alright. That was completely normal. So we're good. What's this color? Or displayed in the web browser. Alright, now we've got that Xorg problem. This problem was already... Oh, okay, we already reported that. I guess that information already did get to Canonical. Alright. Ignore future problems of this. Oh, remember this in the future. Don't send. For anything tracker related, don't send, because already got that. I don't know if it sent that or Xorg data yet, but I'll send it again. Each device needs, oh, it does it not have. Is this the same tracker problem? No, this is Xorg. Oh, it's opening up the web browser. That's what I meant before. Alright. While we're in Firefox, let's see what version of Firefox this is. Probably the latest version. Alright, that is our bug report that we just submitted up the Launchpad. And it looks like it's been experienced from other people here. I saw this too. Looks like in tracker crashed on boot. To confirm, because yes. Alright, I am helping people. Alright, that is good. That things were getting around there. This problem was already reported, and it is, yeah. And in a bit here, it'll be displayed in the web browser. Same with Xorg again. People are having this problem, it looks like, and it is opening up that bug report right now here. I'll just remember this in the future and hit continue. I do not have a Launchpad account, so I won't really be able to respond to anything in Launchpad, but at least I'm contributing to the number of people that are having this issue, and that'll hopefully get it solved and make the end result of 20.04 better. So let's go into help here and see if we can see if we can see which version of Firefox this is. Things are being slow. Do we have htop installed? About Firefox. Error page not found. I must not have permission to see it, because I'm probably not logged in. I could register a Launchpad account, but I'm not going to do that right now. Right, so the version of... No, I'm trying to move that terminal out of the way. The version of Firefox that we have is 73.0.1. I don't know if that's the latest version or not. I don't personally use Firefox, but that seems like a modern version. Has happened more than once. And send that data up to the cloud. Alright, sudo apt and let's do what the developer, but let's do the snap version of it just for funsies. Do you really need to add additional debugging work? I'm just gonna hit I don't know this time. That's probably what I should have done before. Sudo apt install htop. And it's going to install htop. As happened more than once. I've gone that so many times. Every time I log in, I'm getting problems with Tracker and Xorg. So yeah, install htop here. This is something that I think should be installed by default. And yes, go ahead and send that off to the developers, please and thank you. And authenticate. And you don't need that about page up anymore. You don't even really need, I don't know. Hit the X button to exit out of the browser, please. I hate that. Close tabs. Has happened more than once. Dude, if you've got issues, then stop displaying app port. Alright, what's the problem? How am I having problems with app ports? Whoa, what is going on here? Oh my. They should probably improve app port a little bit there, so that if the error has already been sent up to the developers, then it no longer tells you to send more information up to the developers. And I'm gonna pause the video really quick because it's about to get noisy. Alright, so when the web browser opened here, this was originally a bug found in Ubuntu Budgie, which is a flavor of Ubuntu. It pretty much is Ubuntu, just with the Budgie desktop environment. Up here, I'm gonna go ahead and up my redshift here. It's starting to get later. But anyways, this was originally found in Ubuntu Budgie 18.04, and it's Ubuntu Budgie 18.10 Cosmic Cuttlefish. Of course, when that was in development, that was more than a year ago, and we're still seem to not have anything says here. And this is a web page I had sent us to earlier here. Oof. Alright, so it looks like we do still persist in 2020 here. Install Ubuntu 20.04 LTS, and I installed Ubuntu inside VirtualBox, and this happened. Crash file from Ubuntu 20.04. That's an Ubuntu Mate, but this is still technically using. I can't believe this video has turned into me. Video of me looking through bug reports and reporting bugs in Ubuntu 20.04. This was not supposed to be that. What a video this has turned out to be. We get ESV. Multiple people. So I can't report on problem as new bugs if you're interested. Please parse on back with grad data above and comment number 8. Ubuntu kernel bug. This change was made by a bot. So it wasn't confirmed to invalid. So, anyways, let's stop looking for that. Through that, there. We're still getting at port problems for some reason. Did I already send that? I thought I already sent that off. It must be someone else. But yes, there's HStop. Here I'm running. We're running at full CPU forms. I just figured out recently here what these colors mean. The red and the CPU is what various users are doing, and the green is actually what the Linux kernel is doing. That's what the Linux kernel is taken off, which is interesting. The application password and key is closed unexpectedly. That's an issue. It's happened more than once, but I cannot reproduce it, and I don't know a workaround. But I don't really need either. Yes. And send it off to the developer if I don't. I'm actually going to answer no to that one because I don't even know what to do. Besides, I'm already helping. I'm already said I don't know for Tracker and Xorg. Just, oh my goodness. Anyways, alright, let's actually get into the looking around and not just reporting a bunch of bugs. I do a lot of cutting if I was editing this video. Hopefully this isn't more than an hour and a half already. I mean, otherwise I might have to cut it short here. But yeah, here's the routine here. I'm just gonna check on which version of GNOME are we running. I'd assume 3.34, but it might also be the developmental branch of. It also might of 3.36, depending on when the GNOME project is gonna release that. So I'm gonna come down here to about where it will tell us. Come down here to about. You have a generic GNOME icon there. Memory, all good. GNOME is 3.34.2, so yes, we are on 3.34 there. And let's see which version of LibreOffice we are running. I'm gonna try to do this last few things really quick here. I'm not, after all the confusion with bug reporting, man, when we've got a developmental branch here, they aren't really on it about how you wanna report the bug, which is interesting, but of course, it is in development, and any information is great. Pretty much, I'm a beta tester right now. So here's LibreOffice 6.4, it looks like. 2.222/222. Oh, that's a tip. That's tip number 2 out of 222 tips. It's interesting. Do you want to learn what's new? Why not? And then if we go into help here and about LibreOffice, the specific version of LibreOffice that we are running here is 6.4.0.3, which I think is pretty close to the latest version of LibreOffice, which is cool. And of course, Firefox is opening back up here. What are we doing on the host here? We've got 6 gigs of the 10 gigs pretty much using. We're not really using anything on the host except for Chromium there. So we probably are close to having to dip into swap space here. For those of you that don't know, swap is pretty much like the page file in Windows. And yeah, you can tell. This is terrible. I'm running so slowly here. Of course, I only gave this one core, my dual core system here. I don't. That's one thing that I can't really change that well on this computer. If I could, I would put a quad core in here. But nope, I'm stuck on dual core. Just fun. Tables. It seems the only thing that changed. 7.0. No, I don't want to do that. Do we have LibreOffice 7 already? Oh, why did we open up that then? So yeah, LibreOffice 6.4. And what else? What do we have installed here by default? We go to all here. So of course we have the GNOME game suite here. Our calendar. Jeez is installed. Shotwell, of course. Transmission. Sudoku. Let's go into utilities here and let's go ahead and open up the calculator here, because the calculator is probably a snap package here. That was actually pretty fast for snap package here. Let's open up a new terminal here and do a snap list, I believe. Yes, the calculator is a snap package here. The reason why I kind of tested that is because snap packs always take longer to start up on the first start here, but once you start them again, they'll be faster. It's just like font caching and stuff like that that causes it to be a little slower here. So yeah, those are the stamps that are installed by default. believe if you want to, you can go ahead and remove the snap packs and install them from the repositories. I think the only thing that redirects to the snap package is Chromium, and I'm gonna do that real quick here just to see if it does do that in here as well. So I'm gonna install the Chromium browser from the repos here and see if it just kind of redirects me to do the snap package, because that's what it does in 1910. Right, what is it? What is it? Reconfiguring. Oh yes, we are installing it from the Snap Store. Alright. They Canonical says that they are doing this because it'll help them with like keeping Chromium like integrated into the system. And so yeah, I'm a Chromium user, and so this is kind of important to me. But honestly, people complain about snap packages. For those of you guys I don't know, snap packages is basically a solution to a problem here that we have in the world of Linux, and that is that anything that's based on Debian uses the apt package manager. Anything that's based on Arch uses a different package manager called Pacman. Fedora and Red Hat use DNF. OpenSUSE uses the Zipper package manager. Solus has its own thing. I don't even remember the name of it. We have a bunch of, in my opinion at least, like unnecessary things, because we have like these all pretty much do the exact same thing, which is install software pretty much all the same way. They all go ahead and check for dependencies and install those dependencies, all stuff like that. It's just they do it in their own little way, but in the end they all do the same thing, and pretty much what Snap does is it tries to make one big universal one big universal don't relaunch it. One big universal like store that you can go to get software, no matter what distribution you're on, as long as it supports Snap packages. There are other things that do the same. We've got Flatpaks, and we've got app images. But Canonical developed Snap, and they're kind of pushing for Ubuntu to use the Snap packages. And so, and they kind of have control over snaps and all that. But anyways, let's go ahead and open up Chromium and see if we have any deficiencies, because snaps like to run, pretty much when you run a snap, it is run in a sandbox environment, so like it's hard for it to interact with anything outside. And as I learned here in 1804 when I was installing it, like you need to give like some like the Kdenlive snap the ability to see things like your USB drive, and you can even disable it from even accessing your home folder. But that can cause issues with theming, where like you've got some like Audacity that isn't even themed at all, which is odd here. But yeah, Chromium seems to be looking fine here. Chromium 80. I've got to run updates on my host system actually. But yeah, so that's interesting. So I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's probably way longer than I hoped that would, just because of all the reporting bugs and looking at bugs and all that. Xorg having problems, things like that. But other than that, like, at least I hope contributed to the amount of people that are having this issue, and thus, like, that, like, I can't even log into an Xorg session anymore, because of that issue. So hopefully that'll, like, get, like, that gets on Canonical's radar as, like, yeah, that is and we really have to work on, and that hopefully they will have working before the LTS comes out. Of course, this is an LTS, so it's like promised support for 5 years and possibly even 10 years. They kind of tease that 18.04 might be supported for 10 years instead of the traditional 5 years. It seems like it's only going to be supported for 5 years, but yeah. So yeah, there was just a quick glimpse at Ubuntu 20.04 Focal Fossa, and I'll go ahead and end the video here. So thanks for watching, guys. So if you like, go ahead and leave a like. If you like the other videos that I make, then please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my other videos. Also, let me know if you like this style. I'm hoping that these videos won't be as long as this one just was, because I'm assuming that this was, like, at least an hour and a half long, and I did not want it to be that way. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.